It's Kyle T. Mosley from the Black Sports Insiders, and we have a special presentation for you guys today. Uh, with the current political climate, as well as people trying to do away with all of the gains that we've had from the civil rights movement till today, this is a special time to talk about what still has happened and the initiatives as well as the plans that are ahead that we still could be able to strive to be able to accomplish. And I'm here with my Morehouse brother, but also he's the mayor of Montgomery, Mayor Stephen Reed. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Kyle, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Look, I know you guys are doing a lot to commemorate the Montgomery March, and we are here to talk a little bit about that, but also talk to the people and tell them a few things about how you feel about the current climate as far as what's happening with some of the things the current administration is trying to do to get rid of the progress that was made from the civil rights movement.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, we could talk about that just on a segment by itself. I think that what we're dealing with right now is certainly a wake up call. It's a wake up call to all of us who thought that the norms that we have enjoyed for the last 60 years in particular, or more, would be norms that we would be able to enjoy moving forward. And I think there's a direct threat to that. And I think it's in all of our best interest that we understand that some of the institutions that we relied on in the past are shells of themselves or will be, and some will not exist at all moving forward. So we're going to have to figure out how we navigate this new terrain. We're going to have to think about what those marchers who attempted to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge 60 years ago in Selma to march for voting rights in Montgomery dealt with. We're going to have to think about how to utilize our own technology, how to use our own communication, how to use our own currency, and our commitment as a community. Because I think what we're dealing with right now is a direct challenge to the progress and gains that we've seen from the civil rights generation that led America to uh, really view itself and really to live up to its full ideals. And I think that's kind of where we sit right now. And we're going to have to really be proactive in this. We're going to have to be patient, and we're going to have to make sure that we are really courageous about what we do. One of the things I like to tell younger people now is that the marchers and the civil rights movement had no social media. Maybe
Mm,
that was a good thing,
right, right.
because I think we may have to take a look at being prisoners to the algorithms that currently exist right now and find again our way back to basic networking and communication. But they didn't have all these things that we have now. Yet they were able to do what they did without black mayors, black sheriffs, black elected officials, and they were able to overcome the obstacles they had just through sheer will and fortitude. So those are things we're going to have to keep in mind, and more importantly, I think those are things we're going to have to practice in this day and age, given the environment that we see ourselves in.
Yeah. Well, I think you said a bar there when you talked about prisoners of the algorithm. Uh, I think that means a lot because, like you said, where's the solidarity when it comes to how we communicate, how we get the message out, but how we receive the message and act upon the message as well. Correct?
Oh, no question. I think that uh, we have enjoyed a lot without having to sacrifice near as much. And now the healthy tension is there. We're going to have to see what our real appetite for tension is and what our real
Mm.
strength is. Because that moment is here and we have to accept that. And we're going to have to figure out how to navigate again this new terrain that we're in. We're still having advantages that the previous generations did not, but certainly understanding that it's going to take all of us um, forming a collective agenda and understand what the goals and objectives are in this to be successful.
Definitely. So let's talk about the Selma to Montgomery March that you guys are working on commemorating. I think everything started today, correct? You had the
Yes.
press conference today as well. What else is going on in Montgomery to have people to come and be able to enjoy, but also be able to learn?
Sure. Well, tonight there's a reception honoring many legends who were part of the movement and some who continued the movement, obviously, after the Voting Rights Act, through their work in law, through their work in activism, through their work in politics. So we'll honor those heroes and sheroes this evening, and then we'll honor some of those who are doing it in a new capacity and paying it forward from our end. So we want to make sure that we're honoring both the past and the present generation of leaders. And then tomorrow we'll have a family fun day to bring out a new generation of parents and children who may not be familiar with this story, but certainly who understand the need for protest, who understand the need for activism. And so we'll have a family fun day at George Washington Carver High School, which sits just across, I mean, directly across from Campsite 4
Okay.
at St. Jude, where the marchers stayed on their last leg of the journey from Selma to the Alabama capital right here in Montgomery. And after we complete the family fun day, which will have bouncy houses and everything for young families and kids, we'll go into the Stars for Freedom rally, where we'll have people like Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant, Lawrence Tate, Taylor Hicks, Jacqueline Carr, Big Boy, so many people,
Really?
artists and entertainers who will be out there to inspire the activists, inspire the marchers who are here to reenact what took place 60 years ago and to reenact just what um, happened when Harry Belafonte and Sammy Davis Jr. and Joan Baez came to really inspire those marchers who had been through so much. And then on Sunday, we'll reenact the final leg of the march from the city of St. Jude. It's only a few miles from downtown Montgomery, where our state capital is. And we'll reenact that march to hear from other political and faith leaders, to hear from grassroots leaders, and to make sure that when we hear from Martin Luther King III with the message that his father gave some 60 years earlier, talking about the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice,
Yeah.
explaining to the 25,000 people, again, without social media, without knowing exactly what would happen to them, just what was at stake, but it would not be long because they would push for change. They would push for full participation in this democracy. That to me will be the culminating moment because that should be the opportunity for us to reset and re-energize ourselves for what we do in this moment and how we recommit ourselves to making sure not only do we push back on the threat to the progress that's been made, but that we make a concerted effort to be in this battle each and every day. Because again, I think that some of us thought that these things only come around every 4 years when there's an election cycle, every 5 years when there's a commemoration of an event.
Right.
But the other side has been working every day for years. And now we
Diligently.
see what that has culminated in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to commit ourselves to that same type of work.
Yeah. They have always been planning and they always will
Yes, sir.
continue to plan. And we cannot rest on any laurels whatsoever. Um, the speech, Dr. King, our God is marching on. How long? Not long. And that was the message to them on the final leg, right? And I
That's
think
right.
right now, when you look at how long, not long, well, that is, some people think that was a long, long, long time ago in American history when the civil rights movement occurred. But in essence, that 60 years is a short time span. And right now, is you see how the power of the ballot is important because people can roll back the progress in just a strike of a pen, right? So right now we have to do everything we can do. Mayor, anything else you would like to share about your city, about like Alabama State, of course, HBCU right there. And that's when we first met last year at the homecoming. I know you say you didn't quite remember that homecoming, but it was fun, man. But it had a lot to do with just celebrating the people who have built up our communities and sharing with the community. That's what I saw from the Montgomery situation. That was my first time ever there in Montgomery to be able to see, and I loved it. Everyone bit of it the Thursday through Sunday that I was there. So talk about your city and what you're doing.
Well, listen, I think that anybody who remembers everything that happened when they go back to HBCU homecoming isn't having enough fun. So that's the part where I don't remember
Well, that's how we were at
all of
Morehouse.
it.
Remember?
Oh, no question. But I like to
Yeah.
tell New School that they have taken it to a much higher level for sure. In terms of what they do now, we didn't have all the tailgating and all the other things that they now have, and the luxury suites that they have kind of parked out there on the yard.
Yeah.
They have the leather couches, the DJs, and everything else. But that's listen. We'll get back into that when it comes homecoming season again in the fall.
Yes, I remember
Uh,
what this Sexy Red was up there
yeah,
and
a little bit of
everything else.
everybody.
Yeah.
But no, I think here in Montgomery, we've been focused on not only partnering with Alabama State University. I live 2 blocks away from the campus, and so I've always appreciated the heritage of change agents there, whether it was a Reverend Shuttlesworth or
Hmm.
F.D. Reese. Obviously, Reverend Ralph Abernathy and the role that Joanne Robinson played in the bus boycott. So tremendous history from that school university at that time. But this city is moving forward. This city has been growing economically. We've had tremendous economic growth. We've either been number one or number two in the state here in 3 out of the 4+ years I've been in office. So we've been ambitious about really being forward thinking. However, we understand that we, really are here because of those past sacrifices. So we want to honor those and support and commemorate those each and every way that we can. And I think what we want people to know is certainly we want them to come to Montgomery
Hmm.
this weekend, come Saturday, come Sunday. We won't start until 1 o'clock on Sunday, so it's still time to drive in to get in for the march. Be a part of this history. Be a part of this movement. Be a part of what we're being challenged to do. I saw Attorney Fred Gray, who was Rosa Parks and Dr. King's attorney, call for a
Wow.
new civil rights movement
Yeah.
just in the last 24 to 48 hours. So when you see someone who's over 90 years old saying that, hey, it's time that you all do more and look at what we had to go through in the 50s and 60s, you have to answer that call. So we want people to come to this city. We want people to understand the history here, to learn about the history, to visit the equal justice initiatives, museums, and sculpture park. It'll teach us a lot, not only about uh, ourselves, but America as well.
Right.
So that's a big part that we'll be celebrating this weekend. And we want people to know that it's not just about marching. It's not just about the symbolism of marching. And we want to make sure that the younger generation understands that. It's about the march leading to legislative wins, leading to policy implementation, leading to substantive changes of Black elected officials having the opportunity to serve and represent their communities all across this country who could not prior to that time. So, again, some of the things we take for granted, and we have to remind ourselves and certainly inform a new generation of what things used to be, how things are, and how things can be if we aren't paying attention and if we aren't active in this fight for progress and for the soul of this nation. So that's
Yes.
what we'll be focused on this weekend, and we want everybody to come and participate in person. But if you can't, go to mgmside.com, which is basically our website for this side of the bridge, what happened on the other side of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which was a triumph of the marchers making
Right.
it to the Capitol. Go to mgmside.com and join us in the metaverse, where through your phone or your iPad or whatever it may be, you will have the opportunity to join the march live virtually and see things as they were in 1965 and see things as they are right now in 2025. So there's no excuse not to participate either in person or virtually. And we want to make sure that everybody who wants to be a part of this has the opportunity to do just that.
Definitely. That's well said. And one last thing, I understand there's a bit of history for you guys. There's a partnership with NVIDIA that the city of Montgomery has been chosen for. And NVIDIA, if you guys don't know, that's one of the largest, if not the largest company now in the world, right? Financially. Talk about that partnership before we get off.
Well, that partnership is one that will allow us to bring the metaverse experience to people in a virtual sense of what the march was like 60 years ago. It will allow us to combine both past, present, and future all in one setting.
Wow.
And we're proud of the partnership with NVIDIA, and we look forward to doing more things with them as a city and as a community, not just around the anniversary of the 60th anniversary of the Selma-to-Montgomery March, but doing things with them day in and day out that help bring together audiences and utilizing technology as a force multiplier to really, really expand what history looks like here in Montgomery in this country and what it calls for us to do in this moment.
Yeah, definitely. One of my good friends of my family, Dr. Brown, here in the Houston area, he was there at Bloody Sunday. And he was just a teenager then. And he recounted a lot of the trials and tribulations that the marchers went through with my son at an early age, and indoctrinated him to kind of understanding it's important to be able to take on this fight and carry it forward as well. And I appreciate what you're doing as well. But also, I appreciate the fact that you are being a champion and ready to be able to stand up for anyone who is trying to take away the civil rights that they have been granted, because we are people. A lot of people don't believe that we are in this country, but we are people, and we deserve the equal treatment and the fairness across the board because we are Americans, correct?
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more. Really,
Yeah.
really appreciate those words and couldn't add anything stronger to it.
Yeah. And can we see you on the national level soon? I mean, we've heard so many great things about you, Mayor. We need to have somebody like you standing up on the national level.
Well, listen, I appreciate it. And I think we've been trying to do a good job of representing the African American Mayors Association as president on that national level for the last year. And certainly, as we look at public service, we look at the goals and objectives that we have here in the city, but we never say never to what may lie ahead, or certainly what God's plan is for us.
All right. Well, if you need me to campaign for you, I will do that, my brother. Okay.
Hey, listen, I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
All right.
You.
That's Mayor Stephen Reed of Montgomery. If you guys are available, check out the webpage that Mayor Reed talked about so you guys can be a part of this other side of the bridge experience in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm Kyle T. Mosley of the Black Sports Insiders. That's Mayor Reed. Thank you. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Be safe. Be blessed.
Take care.